Let's dive into something that's close to everyone's heart, success. But hold on, this isn't going to be some dry, monotonous lecture. We're going to spice it up with stories, examples, and a dash of fun, so you don't just hear it, you feel it. Grab a cup of tea or coffee, get comfy, and let's embark on this journey together, a journey to unlock the secrets of success. Success isn't like a lottery ticket you buy today and wake up a millionaire tomorrow. Nope, my friend, it's more like a tiny seed you plant with your daily habits and mindset. Picture this. A small sapling doesn't grow into a towering tree overnight, right? It needs water, sunlight, and a little toss. Similarly, success demands consistent effort and a winning mindset. Have you ever seen someone wake up every morning saying, "Today's the day I'll get lucky"? Probably not. The people who seem to attract success aren't just fortunate. They've built routines, thoughts, and actions that line up perfectly with their goals. Now, I can almost hear you thinking, okay, enough with the fancy talk, show me something real. Fair enough. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Edwin C. Barnes. One day, this man woke up and decided, I'm going to work with Thomas Edison, not just as an employee, but as his partner. Take a moment to let that sink in. He had no money, no fancy connections, no experience, just a burning desire and a wild dream. So what did he do? He couldn't afford a train ticket to Edison's office in New Jersey, so he hopped onto a freight train like some action movie hero and showed up with nothing but belief in his pocket. When he met Edison, he didn't shy away. He boldly declared, "I'm here to be your business partner." Edison probably thought, this guy's nuts, but he saw the fire in Barnes's eyes and gave him a small, insignificant job. Most people would have said, "What? A measly job? I'm out." But not Barnes. He stuck around, proving his worth day after day. Then, one day, Edison needed someone to sell his new invention, the Edison dictating machine. Guess who stepped up? Barnes seized that moment with unshakable confidence. He didn't just sell it. He became the exclusive distributor, turning that single opportunity into wealth and a trusted partnership with Edison, exactly as he'd envisioned years before. Pause for a second. How crazy is that? A guy with nothing but a dream made it happen. What do you think? Was it luck, or was it his mindset and hustle? Let's flip the coin for a moment. Why do some people struggle while others soar? It's not about intelligence or talent. Sorry to burst that bubble. It's about those tiny daily choices that stack up over time, like bricks building a house. Think of it like this. Your habits, your thoughts, your actions. They're the paintbrushes, and your life is the canvas. So here's a question for you to chew on. Are you painting a masterpiece, or are you letting life splash colors you don't even recognize? Take a moment, think about it. Success isn't just a shiny trophy you grab off a shelf. It's a reflection of who you are deep down. The way you think, the way you act, even the way you carry yourself, it all sends out a vibe into the world. Ever met someone who walks into a room and instantly commands respect? They don't shout or beg for attention. Their presence alone does the talking. That's not magic or luck. It's years of inner work, a conscious choice to reject mediocrity and build an identity rooted in strength and ambition. They've sculpted themselves into someone worthy of success, and guess what? Success can't help but gravitate toward them. Let's bring in another legend, Henry Ford. Before he became the king of the automobile world, Ford faced flops that would have crushed most people. He built two companies that tanked before he finally struck gold with the Ford Motor Company in Back then, cars were like rare gems. Only the super rich could afford them. But Ford, he had this wild vision of an affordable car for the masses. Crazy, right? During the Great Depression, when businesses were crumbling left and right, Ford's belief in mass production, innovation, and resilience kept him ahead of the game. His mindset was simple. A man's success isn't defined by his failures, it's defined by his belief in himself. So let me ask you, what failures are you letting define you right now? Or are you ready to flip the script and let your belief take the wheel? Here's the deal. Success isn't about chasing a distant dream like some treasure hunt. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. If you want to be wealthy, start thinking and acting like someone who builds wealth. If you want influence, learn to talk and move like a leader. It's like planting a garden. You don't run around chasing flowers. You till the soil, water the seeds, and let them bloom. So who do you need to become to live the life you dream of? Don't just sit there, think about it. Let's talk goals for a sec, because success doesn't happen by accident. It's intentional, like building a house brick by brick. Most people drift through life reacting to whatever comes their way, hoping success will knock on their door like a pizza delivery. Spoiler alert, it won't. If you don't define what you want, the world will define it for you, and trust me, it's rarely what you'd pick. Successful people, they set clear, precise goals that pull them forward like a magnet. None of that vague, I want to be successful, nonsense. What does success look like for you? Is it financial freedom? Mastering a craft? Starting a movement? Clarity is power, my friend. Imagine you're planning a road trip. You wouldn't just say, I want to go somewhere cool, and start driving, right? You'd pick a destination, map the route, and figure out the stops along the way. Goals are the same. Reverse engineer it. Break it down. Want to build a business? What do you need to do in a year? 6 months? The next 30 days? Make it measurable, trackable, and exciting. Your goals should scare you a little, but light a fire under you too. Because here's the truth. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you stretch yourself. Take Thomas Edison again. He didn't just wake up one day with a light bulb glowing over his head. He tested thousands of ideas. Most failed, but he kept going, tweaking, refining until he cracked it. That's not luck. That's persistence and a clear vision. So what's your vision? What's one small step you can take today to get closer? Don't just nod. Write it down, act on it. Now let's get real. Life's going to throw curveballs. Setbacks? Oh, they're coming. But here's the kicker. Success isn't about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. Resilience is your superpower. Think of it like a rubber ball. The harder it gets thrown down, the higher it bounces back. Every failure, every disappointment carries a lesson. The question is, are you asking, why me, or what's this teaching me? Pause and reflect on that for a sec. Look at Abraham Lincoln. The guy lost multiple elections, faced personal tragedies, and still became one of the greatest U.S. presidents. How? He saw struggles as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Resilient people don't waste time whining. They analyze, adapt, and act. They thrive in discomfort because they know that's where growth lives. So next time life knocks you down, dust yourself off and say, all right, what's the lesson here? Because every step after a fall is a step towards success. And here's the big one, self-belief. Before the world buys into you, you have to buy into you. It's like the foundation of a house. Without it, everything collapses. Doubts, fears, that annoying inner critic, they're the real enemies, not the outside world. Ever hesitated because you thought, I'm not good enough? Was that doubt based on facts or just fear playing tricks? Here's the good news. Belief is a choice. You build it like a muscle. Start small, rack up wins, and watch it grow. Walt Disney was told he lacked creativity. Can you imagine? He built an empire anyway. The Wright brothers were mocked for dreaming of flight, but their belief made history. Confidence isn't handed to you, it's forged. So let me ask, when's the last time you proved to yourself you're capable? If you can't remember, start today. Pick something small, crush it, and let that spark ignite something bigger. Success isn't for the lucky, it's for the disciplined, the resilient, the believers. It's not about chasing, it's about becoming. Your life's a canvas, and every day you're holding the brush. So what are you painting? A masterpiece or a mess? The choice is yours, and it starts right now. What's one habit you'll commit to today? One thought you'll shift? Because the moment you align your identity with your vision, success won't just knock, it'll kick the door down. Let's make it happen together. Let's dive deep into the first keynote. Success is a seed, not a lottery. When we think about success, it's tempting to imagine it as some grand stroke of luck, like buying a lottery ticket on a whim and waking up the next day with $1 million in your bank account. But here's the reality. That's not how it works for most people. And honestly, that's not even the most exciting way to think about it. Success isn't a random prize dropped in your lap. It's more like a tiny seed you plant, nurture, and watch grow over time. And just like any seed, it needs the right conditions, consistent effort, a solid mindset, and a little patience to bloom into something extraordinary. Picture a farmer for a moment. He doesn't scatter seeds in his field and then sit back, hoping the universe will magically turn them into a bumper crop. No, he's out there every day, tilling the soil, watering the plants, pulling weeds, protecting them from storm. Some days are tough. The sun's too harsh, or the rain doesn't come. But he keeps going because he knows that's how growth happens. Success operates the same way. It's not about waking up one morning and declaring, today's my lucky day. It's about the small, deliberate things you do every single day that stack up, like bricks building a house, or roots spreading underground, strengthening a tree. Take your habits, for instance. They're the water and sunlight for this seed. Maybe it's waking up an hour earlier to work on a passion project, or choosing to read a book instead of scrolling through social media for the 10th time. These don't feel like game changers in the moment. Trust me, I get it. When you're dragging yourself out of bed at 6, it's not exactly a Hollywood moment, but here's the magic. Those tiny choices compound. They're like interest in a savings account. Small deposits today turn into a fortune years down the line. Someone who writes 200 words a day might not feel like a best-selling author in week 1, but after a year, that's a novel. That's the seed sprouting. Now let's talk mindset, because that's the soil where this seed takes root. If you're walking around thinking I'll never make it, or this stuff only happens to other people, you're basically planting your seed in rocky, barren ground. Nothing's going to grow there. But if you shift that thinking, if you start believing, I can figure this out, or every step counts, you're enriching the soil. It's not about being delusional or ignoring reality, it's about giving yourself a fighting chance. Ever noticed how some people just seem to attract opportunities? It's not luck, it's the vibe they put out. They've trained their mind to see possibilities, not just problems, and that pulls them forward like a magnet. Let's bring in a real-world example to make this stick. Think about J. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was a single mom scraping by, writing in cafes because she couldn't afford heat at home. She didn't win a lottery to get there. She planted a seed. Every scribbled page, every rejection letter she pushed through, was her watering that seed. It took years, not days, but her consistent effort and belief turned that little idea into a forest of success. Could she have given up? Sure, but she didn't, and that's the point. Success isn't handed out randomly. It rewards those who show up and tend the garden. So what does this mean for you? It's about taking ownership. You're not waiting for a golden ticket or a fairy godmother to wave a wand. You're the farmer, and your habits and mindset are your tools. Maybe today it's as simple as setting a goal and sticking to it, or telling yourself, I'm worth this effort. It's not glamorous, but it's real. Over time, those small actions, like drops of water on a seed, build something unstoppable. Success isn't a fluke, it's a harvest. And the best part, you've already got the seed in your hand, you just need to plant it and keep showing up. The idea here is a game changer. Success isn't something you chase, like a dog running after a car, panting and exhausted, hoping to catch it. Instead, it's about transforming yourself into the kind of person who naturally pulls success toward you, like a magnet draws iron filing. It's a shift in perspective that flips the script entirely. Rather than running around trying to grab opportunities, you focus on building an identity, your beliefs, your discipline, your resilience that makes opportunities come to you. And to see how this works, we'll lean on two incredible stories, Edwin C. Barnes and Henry Ford. Imagine you're Edwin C. Barnes for a minute. This guy wasn't born with a silver spoon. He had no money, no fancy network, no resume that screamed hire me. What he did have was a burning vision to partner with Thomas Edison, the greatest inventor of his time. Most people would have laughed at that dream. Heck, even his friends probably thought he'd lost it. But Barnes didn't wait for permission or a lucky break. He saw himself as Edison's partner long before anyone else did. So with no cash for a train ticket, he hopped a freight train, yes, like some gritty movie scene, and showed up at Edison's office. He didn't beg for a job, he declared his intent to be a partner. Edison, probably amused, gave him a low-level gig. Lesser folks would have walked away, insulted. Not Barnes. He stuck around, worked his tail off, and when Edison needed someone to sell his new dictating machine, Barnes jumped in with both feet. That grit and belief turned him into the exclusive distributor, a wealthy man, and yep, Edison's trusted partner. He didn't chase success, he became the guy success couldn't ignore. Now let's shift gears to Henry Ford. Before he revolutionized the world with affordable cars, Ford was no stranger to failure. He built two companies that crashed and burned. Two. Most people would have called it quits, convinced the universe was against them. But Ford, he had this unshakable belief that cars shouldn't just be for the rich, they could be for everyone. While others saw failure, he saw lessons. While the Great Depression wrecked businesses, Ford doubled down on mass production and innovation. He didn't wait for the economy to hand him a win. He crafted himself into a problem solver, a visionary who made success inevitable. His identity wasn't failed entrepreneur, it was the guy who's going to change the game, and the world responded to that energy. So what's the thread here? Both Barnes and Ford didn't waste energy chasing external rewards. They focused inward. They built belief in themselves when no one else did. Barnes acted like a partner before he was one. His confidence and hustle made it real. Ford saw beyond his flops, aligning his actions with a bigger vision. That's the magnet effect. When you believe you're capable, when you back it up with discipline and resilience, people notice. Opportunities don't just appear, you draw them in because you've become someone worth betting on. Think of it like this: if you walk into a room radiating doubt, slouched shoulders, and a maybe I'll make it attitude, what vibe are you sending? Compare that to someone who stands tall, moves with purpose, and owns their space. The second person doesn't need to beg for attention, others gravitate to them. That's what aligning your identity with your vision does. It's not about faking it, it's about growing into it. Want wealth? Start thinking and working like someone who builds it. Save a little, learn a skill, take a risk. Want influence? Act like a leader. Listen, speak up, lift others. It's like tuning a radio. You adjust the frequency until the signal's clear, and suddenly the world tunes in. This isn't magic, it's intention. Barnes and Ford didn't sit around hoping they molded themselves into people who couldn't be overlooked. You can too. It starts with asking, who do I need to be to live my dream? Then step by step you embody that person, belief by belief, action by action, until success has no choice but to stick to you like iron to a magnet. Let's dive into the third keynote: paint your masterpiece with purpose. This one's all about seeing your life as a blank canvas, where every day you pick up the brush, your habits, your choices, your goals, and create something extraordinary. Success isn't a gift that falls from the sky handed to you on a silver platter. It's not a stroke of luck or a random event. No, it's a deliberate act of creation, like an artist crafting a painting, layer by layer with intention and focus. And the key to making it a masterpiece: purpose. That's what guides your hand, ensuring every stroke counts. Think of your life as this giant canvas, stretched out in front of you. Each morning you wake up with a fresh opportunity to add color, shape, and texture. Your habits are the paintbrushes, small ones for the details, big ones for the bold move. Maybe it's the habit of writing a few lines for your dream project, or hitting the gym to build your confidence, or even just choosing to smile at a stranger. These might seem like tiny dabs of paint, insignificant in the moment, but step back after a month, a year, and you'll see how those little strokes start forming a picture. The catch: if you don't pick up the brush, if you let life slap random colors on there, you might end up with a mess you don't even recognize. Ever met someone who says, "I don't know how I ended up here"? That's what happens when you don't paint with purpose. Purpose is like the sketch you draw on the canvas before you start painting. It gives you direction. Without it, you're just splashing paint around, hoping it turns into something cool. But when you know what you're aiming for, say building a business, mastering a skill, or making a difference, it's like having a vision in your mind's eye. Take someone like Nelson Mandela. He didn't just stumble into changing a nation. He had a clear purpose: freedom and equality. Every day in prison, every speech he gave was a stroke toward that picture. It wasn't easy. 26 years behind bars isn't a small setback, but his purpose kept him steady, turning struggles into strength. That's the power of knowing your why. Now let's talk about those setbacks, because no masterpiece comes without a few smudges. Life's going to spill some paint, missed deadlines, failed attempts, harsh words from others. The trick isn't avoiding the spills, it's using them. Imagine you're painting and a drop of blue lands where you didn't want it. A rookie might panic and scrap the whole thing. A master, they'd blend it in, turn it into a shadow or a wave. That's resilience, taking the mess and making it part of the art. Look at someone like Oprah Winfrey. Fired from her first TV job, told she wasn't fit for the screen. She could have let that define her canvas. Instead, she picked up her brush, redefined her purpose, and painted a media empire. Every rejection was just another stroke in her story. This all ties back to action. You can have the best brushes, the richest colors, the grandest vision, but if you don't paint, it's just a blank canvas. Success isn't about dreaming up a pretty picture, it's about getting your hands dirty. Set a goal, something clear, like I'll save $100 this month, or I'll learn 5 new words in a language. Break it down. What's one step you can take today? Maybe it's skipping that extra coffee, or downloading a language app. Then do it. Tomorrow, do it again. That's the discipline of an artist, showing up even when the muse isn't there. Picasso didn't wait for inspiration to strike. He painted relentlessly, refining his craft over decades. Your masterpiece isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every habit you build, every setback you overcome, every goal you chase with purpose adds depth to the picture. You're not waiting for someone to frame it for you. You're the creator. So grab that brush. Your life's waiting for its next stroke. What will you add to it today?